In my wrestling figure collection, which is well over 1,500 different wrestling figures, I have only one figure of the man they call Danhausen. It was from an AEW Dynamite taping I attended in Nashville, Tennessee, and I found that at the merch stand. But I want to change all that, and I've decided to open up something I call the Box of Danhausen.
Boxes here like mystery loot. Wrestling heroes stand tall with their masks so cute. Canadian Bulldog, he's the man with the plan. Unboxing those legends like nobody can. Dusty shows that come alive with every rip and tear. Hulk and Macho Man, it's a thumper there. Packaging's popping and the figures unlock. Wrestling memories roll around the clock. Bulldogs unboxings, yeah, the treasures unfold. Memories from the ring, painted in gold. Figures in the spotlight, heroes of the night. Wrestling merchandise, making it alright.
Canadian Bulldog from Wrestling Merchandise and Memories. That's merchandiseandmemories.com. And welcome to a very special edition of Bulldog's Unboxings. As I mentioned from the outset, what we have here, I call the Box of Danhausen. Why do I call it that? Because it was a lot of action figures that I purchased on eBay, and they're all Danhausen. So I honestly don't remember exactly what's in the box. I have some idea, but I don't know all of them. So this is going to be as much a surprise for you as it will me. And I'm truly excited to dive in here. So without further ado, I'm just going to cut open the box here. And whatever is on top is what we're going to start with. There we go. This is exciting. Probably would have been more exciting had I opened this properly, but what are you going to do? All right. At random. Well, the first thing is bubble wrap. I don't think we need to necessarily delve into that. The first thing we are grabbing is... All right. This is an AEW Unrivaled figure. It is Series 13. Now, I used to collect all of the AEW figures, and I can't remember. I think I have the first 7 or 8 Unrivaled sets, the first 3 Unmatched, and then I have a few along the way. So it's been a while since I've collected these. But truthfully, I have not seen these in stores, here, certainly in Canada. So is this one I would have picked up anyways? Quite possibly. So just take a look here on the back of the package. This is from Rampage, April 29th, 2022 in Philadelphia. And then the other figures that are in this set, we got the Stinger, Darby Allin, Wardlow, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny. And yeah. All right, let's crack open our first of many Danhausen figures. This is a very good one to kick us off. I love the face scan, first of all. It is just about perfect. Jazzwares AEW figures do a phenomenal job, especially when it's somebody like Sting who has like the face paint on. They just capture it really, really perfectly, and I would sort of say the same thing here. So he's got his black and white with red accents face paint, and he's got this just sort of angry look, which is really nice. I love how the hair is a completely separate color as it should be. The outfit, I mean, this is certainly, not an in-ring outfit necessarily, because you can't remove the partial soft goods, I guess, but that's fine. I think especially the character like Danhausen, where he is more outside the ring than in. You do have some decent articulation to this one, although it is limiting, just because of the way his the jacket goes over his torso. But again, I think that's fine, because you really do want to be accurate to the character. In addition to the base figure itself, you've also got a nice alternate head here, in which his hair is a little bit more messed up, although the expression is quite similar. Like, they could have done maybe with an open mouth or something like that, just to distinguish it a little bit more, but I'm not complaining, that's fine. And then in addition to the hands that he comes with, just sort of open hands, which are, you know, very, very expressive on their own, you can also swap those out for the Danhausen curse hands, which is almost a must when you've got a character like this. You want him to be giving opponents a bit of a curse. So very good first figure out of the box here, and I'm quite happy with it. All right, we've got our Danhausen box back here, and coming up next, just pop that out of the way so you can see what we're doing here. It is a Major Bendy. I think there may be more than one Major Bendy in this box. We'll have to see. I love the Major Bendy's figure line by the Collect Major folks, just because it is you know, just a natural extension of the WWF Bendham figures. I mean, there's, just looking at this, I mean, the face scan is a little messy, if I'm being honest here, especially just compared to what the you know, really professional job we got from Jazzworks. But it is what it is. These are Bendham figures, or Bendies, so they're not going to be the same. This tattoo, I'm not sure what it represents, but it's got my attention, I'll say that. I'm gonna have nightmares about that. Wow. And then he's got his logo on the legs, and I think, yeah, he's got it on his butt as well, with a nice, just sort of red top to the trunk. So, I mean, you know, I definitely collect Major Bendies, so this is a welcome addition to the collection. Is it my favorite? Probably not, but it gets the job done. Coming up next, another Major Bendy, and it is very, very similar to the one we just opened, with one notable exception. He is a Simpson, I guess. I'm not sure what the significance is of the yellow skin tone and face paint as well. The face paint application is actually better on this one than it is on the other one we had. Same horrifying tattoo, and then, oh, look at this. He's got the Danhausen logo in yellow. So that's a nice attention to detail there. But I mean, you know, other than that, I mean, this is pretty much the same Major Bendy, and that is fine by me. All right, up next, this is the figure that I think I wanted most out of all of these. It's the Zombie Sailor Toys official Wrestling's Heels and Faces figure of Danhausen. I know this came out easily a couple of years ago, and this was obviously not AEW affiliated. He struck out on a deal on his own, I'm guessing. But I love the Wrestling's Heels and Faces figures. I have a bunch of them, and so when I saw this one in the lot, I said, okay, this is worth a little bit of extra money to me, because, you know, I love this line. So just to show you real quick here, these are the other figures that are in the collection. It was designed by Ron Rudat, who did the WWF Hasbro figures, and then we've got here the trading card where it says, "Hello, Fanhausens. It is I, Danhausen. Thank you for purchasing this very nice, very evil, and now very rare collectible Danhausen actioned figure. Love that Danhausen, or be cursed, Danhausen." That was a shitty impersonation of him, but you get what I was going for. And I've got so many of these Zombie Sailor points, I don't know what to do with them. But what the heck, I'm not going to keep this. Even though this is very rare, very nice, and very evil, I am going to open it up right now. Stop the presses. This is just an incredible Danhausen figure by Zombie Sailor Toys, Wrestling Heels and Faces. I don't know why I can't say it today, but that's what it is. So right off the bat, I mean, not only, you know, the face scan or the face render is just phenomenal. He has this demented comic book like look to his face. They've got the hair is captured here, although I will say the Jazzwares one does it sort of better, just sort of separating the face paint colors from the hair, but it is what it is. And then of course there's this flesh colored cape that he has, which I'm guessing is his pre-AEW days, which is pretty fantastic. I will tell you right before I put the camera on here, I did, you know, very carefully remove the sleeve so that it wouldn't get caught. I did it to some degree. It wouldn't get caught on these tattoos, because I have heard that is a danger with these. The tattoos can get ripped off because this is just sort of stuck onto the skin. On this side, I'll show you here. I definitely was able to very, very carefully remove it, so you see his full complement of tattoos. Is this completely accurate to Danhausen? I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. I'm assuming it is, and then you've got the horrifying beast tattoo on the inside here. I want to be very careful with what I do with the with this cape, just because I don't want to wreck the tattoos that he's got on them. They feel like decals almost. But a lot of really nice detail here on the trunks and on the soft goods cape as well. You can see it here. There's another pattern here on the back. So a lot of, like the other Wrestling Heels and Faces figures, a lot of love went into this one, which I really appreciate. And this is, to me, this is probably the most valuable keepsake of everything I've opened up so far today. This is just a home run for sure. I just noticed that at the bottom of the box here, we've got some trading cards that came with the Major Bendies. So this is obviously for the white-faced version. And I do collect these cards, by the way. I've got a bunch of them. You got his replica autograph here on the back. And then this is the all-yellow one. It looks kind of like a Silver Surfer type of thing. I don't know the significance of that. I'm not, that big a Danhausen fan where I know all of the backstory. But I'm glad there is a different card, and it's not just his body and face are colored differently. It's definitely a different card to it. So those are cool. I will definitely hang on to those cards. And then, I believe this is the final one in the box here. We have got the very nice, very evil Danhausen, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive. Now, let's just talk about the packaging for a second. So, you've got this cape, but it actually, I believe, it opens up. There's Velcro here. Yes, there is. There's Velcro here, so you can see the figure. And I can't wait to have that in hand and take a look at it. But gotta love the packaging. Even the inside of his cape is represented. And then on the side, you've got an extreme close-up of his face. And the back here, it says, Danhausen or be cursed. And Ringside Collectibles exclusive. That is amazing. I finally managed to get Danhausen out of his very well-protected packaging, and this is what we come up with. Right off the bat, I noticed that his arms are covered in these sleeve gimmick things to keep the tattoos pristine, which is, if you compare it, especially with the Heels and Faces figure, you can understand why. These obviously are not decals, but let me just, before we go too much further, I'm going to pull the sleeve things off here so we can see exactly what we're dealing with. There's one. There's the other. I think those are... There also is some plastic around the waist. I will get to that later because you have to be very, very delicate with that. So, a lot to talk about here. Start with the face. Very similar to the previous Danhausen, where the variant where his hair is a little bit tousled and messed up, and love the two-tone once again. Jazzwares has got the face just absolutely perfect here. There's the cape with the, I don't know what you call this, the cowl on the, no, that's not probably not the right word for it, but this thing here, it'll come to me as soon as I'm done the video, but the collar, that's what I was looking, not cowl, the collar that comes up on this, so you can actually, position that. But look at this incredible cape here where it says very nice, very evil, has his AEW era logo on the back. This is just absolutely beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, you've got the tattoos represented very, very well here. I'm assuming that I put this, there's a little bit of a Velcro doohickey here that I can, you can just pop it on like that so it does not fall, it doesn't slide from his person if you want to keep it on. We can talk about the trunks here, the very nice, very evil. The only thing, this is very, very well done. I don't like the sort of gray, black, like ink spots as much as I do the pure black for him. But I know he has worn this before, so, you know, like, it is what it is. And even the boots are, you know, just really, really detailed here. Like, you can tell, like, there's the textures and the colors on this, which make it, you know, just that much better. And the, you know, the cape really, and the collar on him is really what sets this apart. But in addition to that, you've got 2 additional heads, and unlike the first Jazzwares, they are a little bit different. So you've got this really angry Danhausen face, which I really, really like. I'm into it. I'm digging it. And then you've got, it's kind of a sneer, which is, I appreciate that it's a little bit of a different look as opposed to the first AEW figure we opened just had 2 very similar faces. All 3 of these are different, so you can really play around with it and do the, you know, make the look that works the best for you, which is really neat. And then in addition, he has the open hands, much like the previous AEW figure that he comes with. And then you've got I don't know, I guess these are like almost claw-ish hands. Like if you want to do the claw or something, they're I do like, you know, they've gone to a lot of trouble to you know, bend the fingers like so. And there's even a ring here on this finger, which is just, you know, incredible attention to detail. And then once again, you've got the cursed hands. So if you want him to put a curse on somebody, and there's the ring too. I didn't remember the ring before, so maybe that's just exclusive to this figure. I'll have to go back and look. Overall, I mean, this is definitely the most accurate Danhausen figure of the bunch, just because it's full sized and it's it's to scale rather, and just a lot of goodies that come with it. So it is very hard to hate on this particular figure at all. Folks, it's a box of Danhausen in here, and I mean, it's such a colorful, fun character. I mean, there's not a bad figure in the bunch. The major bendies are okay. They're certainly not my favorite, but they're very good, very nice, very evil. The Heels and Faces figure is just phenomenal. Just a really sort of different look at him in that sort of Hasbro retro form. The AEW Unrivaled figure it's basic in a way, but Danhausen is so colorful and different and unique and toyetic that it's not basic, if that makes sense. And then this ringside exclusive, the very nice, very evil exclusive figure, has just a ton of personality and color, and I can't help but laugh just looking at this. It's amazing. It's perfect. So like I said, really not a bad one in the bunch here, and now I've gone from having 1 Danhausen figure to having 6 Danhausen figures, and I am a very happy collector now. For Bulldog's Unboxings, I'm Canadian Bulldog, and we'll see you next time.
Boxes here like mystery loot. Wrestling heroes stand tall with their masks so cute. Canadian Bulldog, he's the man with the plan. Unboxing those legends like nobody can. Dusty shows that come alive with every rip and tear. Hulk and Macho Man is a thumper there. Packaging's popping and the figures unlocked. Wrestling memories roll around the clock. Bulldog's Unboxings, yeah, the treasure.